Tonight, claims of hush money and a cover-up inside Denver City Hall and taxpayer dollars used to protect the mayor's reputation. Good evening. I'm Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. Chief investigative reporter Tony Kovaleski's reporting sparked this controversy in February. Tony's back tonight. You're asking tough questions about your money and your government, Tony.
Well, Shannon, Ann, as you both know, our investigation is centered on what the mayor has already admitted were inappropriate text messages to a veteran police detective. Now our questions turn to what did Denver city leaders know and what did they not know 6 years ago when the sexual harassment allegations unfolded and the checks were written.
It's something no one should have to go through.
She's talking about a trail of sexual harassment, a culture inside Mayor Michael Hancock's security detail, a job she coveted.
I wanted to do this job ever since I was a little girl.
When we first sat down with the veteran detective back in January,
it was a hard time in my life. I didn't have anyone to tell. I didn't have anyone to talk to. That's my boss and my boss's boss.
During that interview, she talked about the harassment, the mayor's text messages, and the toxic culture she endured for nearly a year.
Is there a sense of relief?
There's a sense of relief because it's now out there. I can't be silenced by the city anymore.
And it was that statement that opened the door to perhaps an even bigger issue that has remained a secret for 6 years, a secret inside City Hall.
Do you believe the city was aware of the mayor's activity with you, his comments, his text messages?
Yes, but I didn't share a lot with them. But I did tell them that he also harassed me. I told them.
Anything happen?
No.
She says the city knew the details, and this is where the money trail gets interesting.
You said you were asked not to put the mayor's name in a lawsuit.
Correct.
Tell me about that request.
That the city would settle with me if I did not name the mayor in the suit.
You were given money?
I was.
Would you call that hush money?
Yes.
Now, the city of Denver vehemently denies that claim, saying it's simply not true, calling it nothing more than the detective's opinion of the settlement negotiations. The city says the settlement never prevented the detective from speaking publicly.
I just didn't want to hide it anymore.
Months after Detective Branch Wise requested to be removed from the mayor's security detail, the city and her attorneys worked to cut a deal, a settlement offer by the city that followed the city's decision to fire the mayor's aide and longtime friend, by all indications, blaming him for the culture of sexual harassment.
When we were closing out the suit, I was again told by the city not to name the mayor, Mayor Hancock, in my suit, and they would settle.
They wrote you a check.
They did.
Do you think it was money to protect Mayor Hancock?
I do.
In fact, records show the city of Denver paid Detective Branch Wise $75,000 of taxpayer money.
Did anybody from the city attorney's office inform you about any connection between Detective Branch Wise and the mayor?
Absolutely not.
Susan Shepard was one of 13 Denver City Council members who approved that settlement check for the detective.
Any connection about a possible sexual harassment claim between a veteran detective and the mayor?
Absolutely not.
So when the story breaks, knowing you knew nothing about the connection, what were your thoughts as somebody who sat on council approving that money?
I was furious. I really was.
Detective Branch Wise said to us in front of cameras like this, that she was told the only way the city settles is if she doesn't mention the mayor.
It disgusts me. I'm disgusted.
And Denver7 Investigates has confirmed with multiple sources that at least one ranking member of the mayor's staff had seen inappropriate text messages from Mayor Hancock to the detective before council voted on the settlement. In fact, we've been told that the text messages were used as leverage for the detective's settlement. Critical texts kept from members of council 6 years ago.
As a member of council, Did you know about those text messages that we've now reported on?
Absolutely not. I had no idea.
And the former council member was not alone. We have reached out to the 13 members of council who approved the $75,000 settlement. None of the 8 council members who responded said they can recall being aware of any texts or any allegations against Mayor Hancock when they voted to approve that settlement.
Knowing the facts as you now know them, do you feel that as a council member you may have been duped?
Absolutely. We were not given all the information, and there is physical evidence that this sexual harassment took place between the mayor and her. So, absolutely, we were duped.
Is it fair to characterize this as a cover-up?
Yes, I think so. You know, people wonder why people don't trust government. Well, it's precisely because of things like this.
Which brings us back to the story that starts and finishes with a detective who simply wants to do her job, set the record straight, and continue serving the people of Denver.
This is something I've wanted to do my entire life. And I don't want someone with power to take it away from me.
Couple additional thoughts right now. The mayor's aide and longtime friend did sue the city after he was fired, attacking City Hall's claim he was the one responsible for that culture and saying he was wrongfully terminated. It's a lawsuit the city settled for $200,000. Now, adding up the settlements, attorney fees, and city staff time, this texting and sexual harassment controversy has cost Denver taxpayers more than $500,000 to this point.
Wow.
We will continue to follow the money and ask those tough questions.
I know you will, Tony.
Nice work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.